PS Too Many Games.
One. Hey guys, welcome to this very small episode of PS Too Many Games, basically like an in-between episode. So 3 days ago I released the third episode of Being a Collector, where we talked about the difference between European and American prices, and we talked about maintaining the discs. On that episode I received a comment from a Rodri Retro Gamer, I believe he's commented before, and he basically, very complimentary, but he also said, do you have a list for how you collect it? It'd be good to see it on the actual channel. Which he brings up a very, very good point. I don't think I've actually shown the list on the channel. In the same way that David Murray suggested getting a blackboard to display how many games I've got. I believe it was Mr. Murray, I can't remember. If it wasn't, I'm sorry. I will do the same for the list. So basically today I've been just updating the list because I have got an original list. I really have got like an original list. Sorry, let's just go over there to that. But the original list is starting to not so much fall apart, but it's getting like wear and tear. And why have I got a gap there? Okay, a bit concerning. Where the hell's that gone? Now, oh, I know what that is. So anyway, what was I saying? So basically, today I've updated the, if you will, the list. So this won't look great, but I do have a computer version of this, but this is the paper version because sometimes paper is just better. This is 47 pages.
Oh dear God. And
this holds nearly all of the European PS2 power releases. I say nearly because there's certain things it doesn't include. It doesn't include collector's editions for some reason. I do note that. All the football games, so for instance, all these games like the Arsenals, the Birminghams, the Celtics, they're not on the list either. So this holds about 95%, and it's the best list I've seen online in the last 2 years. The original one is starting to fall. Jesus Christ, speak English, Adam. The original one is starting to fall apart, but this one is just brand new. So basically, as you can see, it's literally alphabetical order. To make it easier for myself this time, the highlighted games are the ones I do not own. Obviously, 10,000 Bullets. I've mentioned that like nearly every episode for the last 3 months. Obviously, the non-highlighted ones, I'm going to have to start scratching off, but these are the ones I already own. So as you can see, there's I'm getting to that point now where it's, well, I own over half of the PAL games now. As a fact, I own about 54%. But there's certain franchises that I haven't even touched, and I'm just going to go through them now before anyone who actually might have these games sitting at home or know someone who has these games. Because most of the franchises I haven't touched are the ones that are so obscure, but not expensive. For instance, I own no Aussie Rules Football. That's what the AFL is, I believe, was Aussie Rules Football. Agent Hugo, I have none of the 4 Agent Hugo games. I don't think they're like expensive, they're just hard to find. But it's also stuff like European versions, like Alpine Skiing. Like that's pretty much going to be like the European version. And there's certain things I haven't found, like both American Choppers. Like stuff like that. They're harder to find than you think. They really are. It's just. Also, I use back-to-back paper. That's hilarious. But it's like the Armored Core, right? Obviously, I've got the basic ones, but like the expensive ones, haven't even seen one yet. Army Men franchise, I've got half of those. Asterisk games, I've never seen them. They're not expensive. I just can't seem to find them. The majority of the ATV ones are not like expensive. It's hard to find. But obviously, the European ones, they're going to be a pain in the backside to find. Band Hero, that's hilarious. As you can see, out of the 4 Barbie games, I need 3 of them. And I just absolutely refuse to buy that in person. That's one of those things I just never going to do. But it's like Biker Mice from Mars. I've seen that once. I've seen that. The Bloody Raw, both games 3 and 4, need to find those. They're not that rare. I should be able to find that. like Bob the Builder. Bolt's wrong, by the way. I found Bolt earlier. Some of the Bratz games. The only Buzz game I need left, Brain of the World, or it'll be Brain of the UK for this one because I think it's the difference in like regions. But once again, the Kabbalah series, which is basically shooting like wild animals. I don't like the series because I don't like killing animals. But all 8 games I need to find. I ain't found one of them yet, so need to start. If anyone knows or anyone has any like leftover games, I would happily please get in contact. I would happily take them off your hands. All the Call of Duty I've got, and obviously most of the fighting games I've got, but I do need Capcom Fighting Jam. That's one of those that I do need. But it's like random stuff. As you can see, like one or two Casper games I don't have. Championship Manager 2007 I do not have. That's hilarious. As you can imagine, it took me a small while to do this earlier because I had to go through everything, like everything. I had a day off today and I had nothing planned. So, like Kokoto, right? I only have one. I've never seen the other three. I've never even, like, before I even found that, I didn't even know it existed. But Kokoto, I need to find the other three. They're hard to find. They really are. Stuff like this. Obviously, we all sure. I think I've gone past Cowboy and Sudoku, the best game ever released. I mean, Krabby Adventure, expensive game. I don't actually know why, to be honest. It's not what you call exciting stuff. I've got half the dance games now, thank God, because they're always hilarious to buy for. Demolition Girl, interesting notes. That is coming down in price rapidly at the moment. That was like 55 quid at the start of the year. I think it's like 38. You're going to be paying it like a CEX. That's coming down. And what's going up is Dragon Guard. That's like a 40 to £50 game now. That was like £20 when I first started collecting like 2 years ago. So that's kind of hilarious. As you can imagine, I got all the Dynasty Warriors. I mean, they're easy to find. I mean, they sold them. But like all like the children's games, like Ed and Eddie, like Johnny Bravo, haven't got that either. They're not easy to find. Most of the ESPN stuff not easy to find. But it's like the obscure stuff. iToy Chat, iToy Play Pom Pom Party, stuff like this. Like once again, children's Fairly Odd Parents. Hilariously, 2001 FIFA. I've got the plat, but not the actual normal version. 13 and 14 are expensive games and rare these days for obvious reasons. Oh, by the way, what killed Final Fight Street Rise, one of the worst games ever released by Capcom. Legit, one of the worst games ever released by Capcom. Let's go through this. So, Forbidden Sirens 1 and 2, I ain't even got the first one or the second one. They're rare games, they're reasonably expensive, so I understand that. Fraggy Dettori's Racing. I think I mentioned before, the amount of horse racing games on the PS2 is beyond belief. It really is. Once again, it's like G-Force. That's like an obscure Disney film. Another racing game, Gallop Racer 2. But if you notice, the highlighted, there's a lot less highlight than there is stuff I actually own. Which is obviously encouraging for me, because we're over halfway. That's good to know. But then you get the stuff you never thought I would struggle to find. Sorry, bear me a second. God Hand, that's an expensive Capcom game. I've still got to get that, obviously. But then you get like long lists of stuff in the row which I've got. Like, for instance, all the Gran Turismo and all the GTAs. Got them all.
2 hours later.
So there's certain letters that I've got nearly everything on. Another thing, Guilty Gear. I've only got one of the Guilty Gears and there's 5 of them. So I would like some help finding them if anyone's got any. Were they willing to sell or trade, if you will? Hannah Montana. Oh, God. All the Harry Potters I've gotten. So I never knew until I saw this as a Harvest Moon game on PS2. That actually stunned me. I don't know why, but it legit did. It was confusing to me. But a lot of these games I've never heard of. Another franchise, the Hugo franchise. I've got none of the 3 Hugo games. So if anyone can help me with that, that'd be great. Oh, good lord. Sorry. International Cricket Captain 3, like stuff like this, all these like shovelware games these days. They're so hard to find. The Jackass game. Actually, someone did offer me Jackie Chan Adventures a long time ago, but I've forgotten who that was. I got to go for the comments because I might hit them up to see if they still got that. Because there it is, Johnny Bravo, Jimmy Neutron. The amount of like children's games that are hard to find. They really are. It's the last junior thing, but it's like the K1 games. Haven't got any of those. Really haven't. It's impossible. You see what I mean? Well, obviously the majority of the King of Fighters I ain't got. Obviously that is. I think that's like £140 game these days. It really is. King of Fighters 98. Kingsfield Full obviously got. Konoha 2. I need that. And Knights of the Temple, both of them. That would be a good one to find. But you will notice that some of these games, most of them are obviously expensive rare games, which they should be. That's why I can't find them. I've now got that point where most of the shovelware, if it weren't for the sports shovelware, I would be pretty much have all the shovelware by now. But there's so many sports games I don't need. Marvel Superhero Squad, I've never seen a copy. I'm going to have to Google that because it's one of those things that you'd be surprised. Mega Man. I have none of the 3 Mega Man games. That's kind of shocking too. Even though X7 and X8 are both terrible games. God, which killed the Mega Man X franchise. Well, actually, they didn't. Capcom. Capcom killed Mega Man for a while because they didn't want to make him. Metropolis Mania. Need them too. Obviously, Michigan Report from Hell. I'm gonna. That's obvious. God, look at the amount of games start with Monster. It's ridiculous. Obviously, I've got all the Mortal Kombat games. Nothing like weird there. Having got Musashi Samurai Legend. That's a game I would like to have. That's a pretty good game. I've been told. I think Namco Museum. I think that's an expensive game. I've been told. I think that's like upwards of 20 quid upwards. Obviously, both NASCARs. I need both of them. By the way, this is recorded after King's Lynn, so there's been some items on this list that you haven't actually seen me present yet, because I haven't recorded for that yet. So, yeah. So here we go. 5, 10, 15, about 28, if I'm counting wrong, 28 NBA games for PS2. That's ridiculous. Utterly insane. Obviously, Need for Speed's done, by the way. That's ridiculous. NFL, obviously, National Football League and National Hockey League. There's significantly less games for those, but if you include all 3 franchises, it's like 50 American sports titles for the PS2 over here. Just take that in. Ninja Bread Man. Obviously, obscure, both of them, I need them. I understand that. Obviously, I picked up Grand Adventure, but I need the other 2 One Pieces. Then we've got like obscure stuff, which is like no one wants to keep them, so I understand. Pac-Man Rally. I think Panzer Front or Speed. It's not rare, but it's like a £15 game. So it's one of these. Some of these games where you look at it, it's like, am I willing to pay £15 for it? It's like, no, just no. Oh, Postman Pat. I have never seen a Postman Pat game for PS2, but it exists. So yeah, Powerpuff Girls. It's like, what was it Cartoon Network? It wasn't Toonami. Toonami was the good cartoon now. Like that time, like 2004, where they had like Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Ed, and Eddie, like all these awesome cartoons all at once. It was amazing. Good time to be a child. It really was. And Toonami came on after that, where they got the Japanese anime. Awesome time. Awesome. Psychonauts, another very cool game I haven't got. Cult classic, if you will. Okay, I made a mistake. R-Type. I found R-Type final like a minute ago, so I actually have got that. So that's a mistake. That really is. Wrestling Clock Size Matters, having got that. Yeah. Real Madrid's on this game, is on this list, right? But now the other like club games are. So that's real weird. But to be honest, like the European football games, like Real Madrid, Hamburg, Inter Milan, they are very hard to find. They're not expensive. They're just very hard to find. I might actually like CEX roulette them, because that might be the easy way to go at this point. Reign of Fire. The only Resident Evil game I haven't got is Survivor 2 Code Veronica. The others I've got them. I've got them all. Road Trip Adventure I picked up in Wiz Beach. 3 Robin Hood games for the PS2. That's kind of hilarious. I've got every Rock Band apart from the actual song packs, which is kind of funny. Here we go. RTL. For anyone, I believe RTL are like European sports like channels. We don't really get them over here. I think they're called Eurosport over here, but obviously they cover all the winter sports. By the way, Biathlon, amazing winter sports, shooting and skit and cross country. Who would have thought that up? Incredible. Obviously, there's Roar of Rose, Rumble Roses, another game which is reasonably expensive.
That's enough. That's enough.
You might notice there's a lot of S games. There's more S games than any other game on the PS2. I think First Fright. No, the Spooky Swamp. I think one of these is like a £20 game, Scooby-Doo. It's like one really obscure Scooby-Doo game. Secret Agent Clank is just going to increase in price. I really need to find out sooner rather than later, because that's just going to keep going up and up. But if you notice on this, we're skipping a lot of games now. There's only like certain games I actually need. And shockingly, I needed 4 Shrek games. So I kind of forgot there's 2 different versions of Silent Hill 2. So I've got Silent Hill 2 normal one. I've got the Platinum version, but I haven't got the Director's Cut, so I need to get that one. Yeah. Mistakes were made. Hilariously, I got Sims 2 in Platinum, but not in normal. Okay, by the way, This whole page is SingStar, like European games. I don't even bother with them because a lot of these are just like, they're literally like the French version of that game. So I'm still undecided where I'm actually going to get like 6 copies of the same game, because that sounds like a colossal pain in the ass to do. SNK Arcade, like, as you can see, a lot of these are like, we're now getting obscure games. Space Channel's a good game. The first one is, I never played part 2, have to get that. Redo, but obviously more SingStar games. We skipping. Hang about, did I put that in? Did I put it in the wrong order? Yes, I did. Yes, I put I put that in the wrong order. I'm gonna have to change that. All right, okay, that's back to normal. The only Spider-Man game I ain't got is Web of Shadows. I've only got one. I'm only missing one SpongeBob game. That's the Atlantis one. So that'd be nice to like wipe that off the list. But if you notice, I've only got one. I've got all the Star Trek games. I'm only missing one Star Wars games. That's the one with, I think, Darth Maul on the front. Super Bombard Racing. It's not so much a rare game. It's just hard to find. It's just I haven't found it yet. So you know what I mean. Sometimes these games aren't rare. Street Cricket. I've never even heard of that before until I read this list again. It's like all these street games gonna be real hard to find. This like all the games on this list I need, apart from Sudoken, they are all not exactly like super rare games. Tengai, I think there's a version of Tengai in Norwich as we speak at the CEX. I might hit them up sometime in the next month. I need Tugboat 2010, that's the only one I need, but obviously... Yes, the most hilarious part of it all, I checked. I do not own the original Time Splitters in normal. I got the Platinum version, but not the original. I was stunned when I checked again. You see, I'm not perfect. I do miss the odd one I don't have. I just naturally assume I had it, and it's like... like Spen, right? I've got one, but I didn't realize I get a second game. Once again, it's like, Jesus Christ, how do people get 2 games? I need 2 more tags, but they're not super hard to find. But the expensive stuff is the Ninja Turtles games. I mean, 2 is like 30 quid, but I think 3 is like 60 to 80 quid. I could be wrong once again. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
It's almost over.
It's just like stuff like that. Oh, by the way, yesterday, the new Turtle film, the PG one made by Seth Rogen, very good. Very good. If you like that, like in-house jokes, it's very good. It really is. But if you notice, the U ones, I pretty much nailed that one. Once again with the V games, once again I pretty much nailed the hard ones. It's just the obscure stuff now, the real obscure stuff. I have played War of the Monsters before. It's an awesome game. That's the one where you're basically 2 like massive monsters fighting in a city. It's hilarious. Wild Arms. I know I've got one of them. I might have got the wrong one. I was just like guessing at that point because I'm just trying to. I did like do photo footage so I can tell which one I need. But All Stars. That's a hard game to find. It's a real hard game to find. I've got 2011, but not 2010. That's also hilarious. It really is. Shaolin Showdown, another good child game. And at the end here, I've got the Yu-Gi-Oh games. A lot of the Z games I need though, but a lot of them are rare. So that's obviously that's the PAL. That is my platinum list, but that one's a lot easier to like differ through. But you know what I mean. That's a lot easier to differ to. So that is a complete list of what I need right now. Bear me a second. You know what? Screw it. Walk away. So as you can imagine, we're now in the point where we are do the mathematics. We need 962 games left. So it might not have seen that there was like stuff like this. It really makes a difference when tracking. It really does. It makes all the difference in the world. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. Just basically an update on like what I would like to find. You already know what's coming in the future. We're still sorting out the London episode and the Kingston episode, and pretty much sorting out too. Thank you for watching again. I'm going to sign off. Have a good evening. Bye.